Hi Nina, great to meet you. My name is Jai. I work in the tech scene here in London. I work mostly with restaurants, so the products I've worked on for most of my career have involved interfacing between restaurants and trying to introduce really exciting tech ideas and tech products that make the industry work better. The current product I'm working on, I can't tell you too much about. What I can say though is it's a really exciting business, and what we're doing for the industry is actually improving the way in which they communicate. You know, London's a really vibrant city. It's very energetic. There are a lot of people with a lot of great ideas. There's a lot of talent here, which makes it a great place to have a startup. And because people are quite dynamic and they're willing to work in many different areas and try new things out, you don't have the mindset's just much more open, and I think a startup really needs open-minded people who are willing to get their hands dirty and sink themselves into a project. It hasn't affected my life in as much as it's affected the life of our customers. And I won't say too much, but right now, I guess the most obvious effect that Brexit has already had is in terms of our purchasing power, right? The power of the sterling, the pound sterling, and our ability to buy stuff from abroad has changed, right? Buying goods from abroad has gotten more expensive. If you're a business that sells abroad, suddenly you're perhaps doing better because you're able to sell stuff without the premium that the pound has always commanded. In the short to mid-term, will it mean that we begin to lose talent? Probably. Will it ever be a big problem? It's hard to say. Do I feel supported by the government? Do we as a business feel supported by the government? Yeah. I mean, look, there are lots of schemes. There's a lot of funding available for young businesses and for people who are trying to set businesses up. Some of that might change over the coming years because there are budget cuts, there are funding issues. I think though that it'll be in the government's interest to continue having some of these schemes, especially as entrepreneurship becomes more important in a new economy post Brexit. So yes, I would say that we are and feel supported by our government. So for accounting purposes, we use Xero, which is a fantastic tool. It does everything that you need it to do from an accountant's perspective, and it's super modern, super cutting edge. What it doesn't do very well, though, is manage expenses. So the advice I would share with other startups, look, if you've got a good idea, you can raise the money. That is, I think, quite certain. But make sure you have a good idea, and B, make sure you know your market. Make sure you know your market really well. What I do for startups is I scale. Yeah, I get products in front of lots of people, yeah, and get them to use it. And always when people approach me with similar products for the restaurant industry, my biggest concern is, are people going to use it? Are they going to engage with it? And what value are you adding to their lives? How are you making things easier, better, faster, simpler? You make sure you know your market and make sure you know exactly what problems you're solving. My favorite startup would have to be a bank called Monzo. I like the way that they brought banking to the 21st century. They're obviously involved in the use of smartphones and apps to manage a current account. But beyond that, I think that their approach to customer service and their approach to looking after clients and the way that their whole accounting system works, I think it's just really seamless. It's really well organized and designed. On the distribution side of the business, which is the side of the business that I work on, we use Telegram. So we communicate using Telegram, which is very different from how I worked before, where most of our communication between colleagues was either WhatsApp or email. We send almost no emails internally, almost none. Everything is done via Telegram group chat. My emails, and I email a lot, but that's because I'm emailing external people, customers mostly, and I deal with them by email. And then in addition to that, we use Trello to stay on top of everything. So we don't just use Trello as a project management tool, but we use it as a sales pipeline. So we manage our entire CRM, at least customer-facing part of the business, through Trello, and we communicate through it as well. Thank you, Nina. It was lovely to meet you, and I look forward to telling you more about our secret project in a few weeks when you come back to town.